Welcome back to Advanced Blockchain Development Tools. Today we're going to be talking about the DAPP Network, which isn't just a tool, it's a whole suite of tools and a software development kit that lets you easily develop with those tools. But first, go ahead and subscribe, enable notifications, whatever you have to do to keep getting videos, because we are coming out with videos weekly, sometimes more often, to introduce you to the latest, greatest blockchain development tools to really power up your DAPP. So full disclosure, I am an employee at LiquidApps, and LiquidApps does not run the DAPP network, but it does create the code, introduce the code for most of the services that are run on the DAPP network. The DAPP network is a network of third-party service providers, independents of all kinds, that offer services to dApps. It's a decentralized network, but LiquidApps does introduce the code, and as such, as an employee of LiquidApps, obviously I'm going to be promoting them all the time, promoting the services all the time. I think they're great. That's why I joined, and I also joined because I care about building scalable dApps, and that's what they're enabling. Right now, dApps have high resource costs, no matter what blockchain you're on. They have an inefficient development lifecycle. They have a steep tech learning curve. Look, you're in the second course because there are a whole lot of things to learn. We spend a whole video spinning up parts of our environment. Well, LiquidApps wants to address that. And also, there's a lack of trustless services. We need trustless services in order to keep dApps decentralized, in order to keep them immune to compromise, to censorship, to attacks, to things like that, because it's no good just to have your smart contract decentralized. That's the most important part. But if a bad actor can just come and take down your front end or whatever, your app is effectively dead. I know that someone else could spin up another front end, but that'll take time. It might not happen. Well, LiquidApps is interested in having trustless services all the way up the stack, where not just the smart contract, but every other part of an app stack, from the back end all the way to the front end, is decentralized, trustless. So the DAPP network is a middleware layer where there's this free market of services. DAPP service providers can write their own services. Anyone can offer any services they want to dApps. And it sits between the blockchain and the dApps. So from the dApps perspective, the blockchain has a bunch more features that it never had before, which is fantastic. Features like, and these are only some, liquid accounts, free access for users, VRAM, cheap storage for dApps. So we're addressing some resource problems that we've seen on blockchains before. vCPU, which isn't listed here, that's computation. Things like AI and machine learning and intense computation can now be performed with minimal cost. Liquid oracles, that's decentralized data feeds like grabbing API data from the internet or getting a whole website or even accessing information on another blockchain. In your EOS smart contract, you can look at what the latest Bitcoin activity is or Ethereum activity or whatever blockchain you'd like and pull it in and act on it using liquid oracles. Liquid scheduler, decentralized timed events. If you've been building on EOS, you know that deferred transactions, kind of the default way for EOS dApps to do scheduled and recurring tasks, they aren't guaranteed to work, right? They aren't guaranteed to trigger. And they're kind of a pain to work with. And what's more, they've been deprecated now. In the latest version of EOS, they're going away. So they're not even an option anymore, but you need to be able to schedule tasks. You need to be able to have recurring tasks. You need to be able to schedule updates to your user or, game events or data updates for some kind of price feed, whatever you will. You need to be able to do that. So Liquid Scheduler allows you to do scheduled events in a decentralized way. And all of these things and many more services like Liquid Authenticator, Liquid Log, Liquid Lens, Liquid Storage, there are several more. They're in various stages of development. They are all made easier to work with and easy to implement in a dApp using the Zeus software development kit. Of course, these services work in conjunction. You could have Liquid Scheduler make a recurring request for some data that Liquid Oracles actually retrieves, and then the data is used on multiple blockchains with Liquid Link and stored in cheap accessible storage with VRAM. How does this work? Well, the dApp service providers, a network of, like I said, independent third-party free market providers, they decide what services to offer, and they decide the prices to offer them at, and other details like SLAs. And they're all around the world. Anyone can spin up a dApp service provider, start offering services, start getting people to stake dApp to them, start earning inflation on that dApp. There's no review process, approval process. Again, it's a decentralized free market. And dApps can pick, let's say there's two DSPs here, they offer various services. dApps can select which services from which providers they want to use. And as I've hinted at before, although we'll be focusing on EOS, obviously, in this course, the DAPP network enables cross-chain operation as well, with a service called LiquidLink, and with a service called LiquidX, which was just recently announced. DSPs can run on other EOS.io chains, and dApps can now run across chains, with DSPs acting as a sort of decentralized translator between chains, enabling full cross-chain ability, not just token transfers, but data transfers, sharing data, acting across chains, deploying contracts across chains, doing all sorts of things, because we believe the future is multi-chain. If you're running an app on Ethereum, a dApp on Ethereum, because you like Ethereum's consensus, and you really can't do the computation you need to do on Ethereum, it would be far too expensive. Gas fees would be through the roof. You can offload the computation to EOS or even to vCPU, and you can build once on Ethereum but run everywhere, and each chain can focus on its strengths now without limiting dApps. So if I like the consensus model of Ethereum, but I want certain aspects of EOS and certain aspects of, hypothetically, Tron, all right, I want certain aspects of those blockchains, I'm free to do that now. And those blockchains are free to focus on what they are good at without limiting my dApp to only one set of features. That's the DAPP network in short. We're going to start covering some dApp services. First, we're going to set up the Zeus software development kit, which if you're on a local machine, it does take a little bit longer than I'd like, but it's not too bad. And then, in a much shorter process, really, we're going to add services to our dApp. We're going to enable decentralized, affordable, scalable storage in a dApp. We're going to enable free accounts. We're going to add oracles and be able to see the outside world from our dApp. All sorts of goodies coming in a decentralized way, and we're going to see you in the next lesson.